What's going on, everybody? My name is Jason and welcome to my channel. What we're going to be doing today, since I really haven't planned on a specific thing, is I figured we could do a day in the life of a bike shop employee. So what we've got right here is we've got a customer that has called up and he's got this Athens EG 350DX. I guess it's a pretty entry-level e-bike. It looks like it's a 350 watt motor, which it'll get you going. But he has lost the key and he can't get this thing going, so he has provided me with some parts. Since I don't sell this brand and I've never heard of it, he actually provided me a new lock cylinder here, and he also provided me with some other parts because he was asking if I could break the bracket off for him, and I kept on telling him that yes, I can, but there's a chance that depending on how the battery's designed, I couldn't guarantee that there wouldn't be any damage to the battery. But I am looking at this and there's something really cool. The lock core is right here on the end of the battery, and I see 4 screws on here. So let's see if we can unscrew this and slide this battery out and not have to worry about breaking things, because I also need to get in here anyway, because I've got to replace the lock core, which it looks like we're gonna need to do some soldering, and that's fun. I can solder these together. I've been doing it for years. So let's go ahead and get started on this project. Okay, let's go ahead and unscrew this. It'd be quicker if I had this on my drill. So grab this without dropping it. Hey, didn't drop one screw. Okay, and let's just carefully undo that, because we've got some exposed wires here. We should be able to slide the battery out. There we go. Easy as that. Alright, so let's go ahead and unscrew this from the case. Pull this out. Interesting. Okay, I think I need to pull that out like that, and then we're going to unplug this, move this aside. Alright, so whenever I'm looking at these lock cores, They look exactly alike, except these wires here do look different. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these wires here with the soldering gun, and then I'm going to reinstall this one onto that. That should be easy to do. So let's go ahead and get my soldering gun here, and we're going to carefully heat this up and remove it. You know what? Let's cut this zip tie here. Just remove this shield here so that I can actually give it a tug. We'll start seeing a little bit of smoke. It should detach. Like that. And then I doubt it'd make much difference, but let's go ahead and detach this one. Reapply it here. I lost my light. Let's turn that on again. Alright. Let's remove this one. Same way. Okay. Let's remove this red wire. Time for me to clean this gun. It's not soldering as well as it's supposed to be. Add a little bit of solder to this. There we go. We got a good solder job there. And let's add a little bit more solder to this one. and then give it a blow. So that's looking pretty good. Okay. Let's now install it back into the battery. We'll remove the key. Let's move the camera a bit. Alright, we're going to remove this little plastic shield here. We're going to carefully install, or start to install this. Let's put this back in. There we go. I'm going to add a small amount of blue Loctite onto this bolt, just a little tiny bit, just in case if the other one tries to come out. So the interesting thing with this gentleman that called is apparently he called several bike shops and they would not give him a estimate on this. And I told him that I couldn't give him an estimate on this because it was too vague, too much kind of going on. Ooh, you know what? Let's get real fancy with this. I've got my hot glue gun here, and let's go ahead and cover the parts I just soldered with some hot glue. Just as an extra protection against shorting. So all I did was I covered the solder jobs with the hot glue. That's what you do just to keep, wires from touching and such. There we go. Let's plug this in. And then we're going to reinstall this. Now I need to find out where I put those screws. Where did I put those screws? I always put the screws in a safe spot. So let's go ahead and reinstall this. It's not a difficult job, but you can easily mess it up if you're not careful, which is one reason why some places charge quite a bit. So there's one screw. There's the second screw. Let's turn it over. A lot of bike shops don't want to be messing with batteries. And I don't blame them, because these batteries, they're high voltage, and if you mess up, it can really cause a fire. But I did not mess with the battery. All I did was I worked on the lock cores the way I'm looking at it. Okay, so now that that's installed, we're going to snug this, not too tight, not too loose, snug. And I didn't say on camera earlier, but whenever I was looking, I pushed this button right here, and this battery is really low. So he really needs to hurry up and charge that. But here we are. We got the key, and it works. The lock does work. Let's reinstall it on the bike. Alrighty, so we're gonna reinstall this. And there goes my light again. We're gonna lock this in, and then yep, it's locked. And it should be on. Alright, so let's try turning this thing on. It's on. Let's give it a little juice. It works. Alright, next project is, let me see, a shifter. So I didn't need to install these because we were able to remove the battery without that. We've got another throttle, which we don't need to worry about because this throttle is working. And we've got a new shifter. He wants a new shifter installed. I don't know why. The shifter is working, but I'm going to install the shifter because these shifters do give a lot of issues. I'll just save this one for the customer so he can have it as a backup. I'm wondering if he wants it. Now, he specifically said that he wanted the shifter installed. I'm wondering if he wants it installed because it's loose. All we have to do is tighten it up there, but the customer said he wanted a shifter, so we're doing it. Okay, the next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting a new shifter on this bike. I'm going to do this quickly. It's going to end up looking easier than it actually is, but let's get started. So let's go ahead and loosen up the brake lever so that we can get our air nozzle up under here. Actually, let's see if we can just kind of use the brake lever itself to kind of pull the grip off. Let's see. Nope. Air nozzle it is. Wow, that is on there. Did I say I was going to make it look easier than it actually is? It's coming. Wow. The grip is off. We now need to remove the brake lever, so we have to do that by unplugging the sensor for the brake lever, which should be somewhere around here. Should be about here. Oh, there it is. A little further down than I thought. That's to the throttle. This, well, need to keep on going. Where is that darn brake lever plug? Okay. It's further down. Stuff I do every day. Okay, let's make sure. Yes, so we're going to unplug that, and we're going to pull out the brake cable, and then we can remove the brake lever. Next thing is the throttle. We don't need to unplug that. Okay, so now I need a screwdriver. We're gonna unscrew this loose screw. He does have a lot of dirt in there, so I don't know why. That might be the reason why he's wanting to replace it, because it's dirty. All right. 5mm Allen key back here. Okay, so now that that's undone, we can start to slide this shifter off. And then we're going to install the new shifter on there. We're going to go ahead and put this back on. Then we're going to install the brake lever. And then we're going to install the grip. Let's put a little hairspray on this, shall we? Hairspray is really good because it's got alcohol in there. It allows it to slide on easily, and then it evaporates. So I just put a little bit in there. I'm getting a little bit on the end there. So see, it slides on pretty easily. And then it'll dry. Okay. Let's tighten up the brake lever. Let's try to line it up as best we can with the other one. Make it look symmetrical. We may have to readjust it later. And then we're going to tighten up the throttle. Again, we may have to readjust this a little bit later, but that's where I saw it. Let's get some trough flow. Some trough flow would be really nice to put on this cable as we're installing it into the original housing. So we're going to start to install the cable and just a little bit of trough flow on the cable as we're installing it. Let's angle this up a little bit more. Just kind of show what I'm doing. Just a little bit of trough flow. Okay, so now we've got that there. We're going to put a little bit of grease on this screw because some people have trouble tightening these things up, and it gives the illusion that it's tight whenever it's just bonding up. Just a little bit. And we're going to get this good and snug. And see, it doesn't move. Alright, we're going to go ahead and plug in the, let's readjust this. We're going to plug in the brake switch here, line up the arrows, plug it in, then we're going to wrap this stuff back on there. Makes it nice and neat. Where we get a little higher, we'll install the brake cable into the brake lever. We want to add, yeah, let's add this one too. But let's move this one around down here. Let's hook up the brake cable. Okay. Okay. Get everything good and snug together. Okay, let's hook up the derailleur cable now. So we've got the new cable, slide it in there. I'm going to pull this just finger tight, line it into the groove there. We're going to just snug that. And then we're going to shift up once. That shifted up. Again, again, again. Wow. That normally does not line up perfectly, but that's okay. It won't be like that for very long because the cable's going to stretch. Let's trim that so it doesn't get tangled up again. Will it go too far? Nope, that's good. All right, let's cut it. I'm going to cut it about 1.5 inches from where the clamp is. We're going to put a cable tip on there. And then we're going to keep an eye on the shifting because it will go out of adjustment. It does not work out that well. Okay, so every time I shift this, it goes right in the gear it's supposed to, and it goes up every single gear. So that's good. Rear brake is working, although not as well as it could be. I will have to tell the customer that. But he brought it in wanting specific things done, and he didn't want anything less, and he didn't want anything more. So all I can do is make notes on the repair ticket. Let's go ahead and get this thing down, and then maybe we can take it out for a test ride. This thing is so light that I didn't even have to use my winch to get it up there. Alright, so the shifter is not in the best place. We're going to fix that. Where's my screwdriver? In my pocket. Brake lever. Brake lever is good. That's in a good spot. Is it good and tight? It is. Throttle's in a good spot. The only thing that's not in a good spot is the shifter. So, right there. Okay, that's good. Let's well, I can't really take it out for a test ride because this battery is dangerously low. If you run it until it dies, then there's a chance that it won't charge again. So I'm going to give the customer a call and let him know that this thing's done. I will take this thing out for a test ride, but I'll be using pedal power, not throttle. Well guys, basically that's what I do all day is I just kind of fix random things. I enjoy my job. Every day it's something different. One minute I could be doing flat repairs on a bike. The next minute I could be soldering in new lock cores into the battery. I could be replacing the shifters on a stubborn bike. But that's what I do during the day. This is just one thing. I've done some bikes before this, and I was also doing a lot of other bikes after this as well. So if you enjoyed the video, please give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to tell your friends. Check out some of the other videos on the corner of the screen. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will catch you next time. Thanks.